Hello and welcome to the Yognaut Gaming Podcast, episode 5. Today we have myself, Arix, Zell, Lorcian, and a guest, Rogue Wisdom, with us today.
Hello.
Fantastic.
Don't mind me. The tiny chat was messing up for whatever reason, so...
That's quite alright, alright. Anyway, yeah, we're just going to have quite a relaxed podcast today. Obviously, we're missing a few of our regular members who'd usually be in the podcast, so it'll be quite relaxed. May not last quite as long as a full hour, but we'll just see how it goes anyway. Main topic of today, Lorcian, you received your Japan crate today, right?
Did.
How awesome was that?
It's awesome. It's big.
Holy cow!
Big packages.
Huge.
Well,
I don't want to hold it too much, but
nice.
that is cool.
That's awesome. I used to get quite a lot of subscription crates. Like I used to get the Loot Crate and the Loot Crate Gaming one. Now I have like a kind of like I want to say like a wardrobe over there kind of thing with all of the crap on top of it that I got. And I was like, okay, got to cancel this now. Too much stuff. But they're all really good. I like them a lot. I like that kind of model because like I will often buy things from like comic book shops and stuff that I want. So, having a crate, especially for like sweets and food like that, is pretty good.
I get a nail polish one as well.
Oh yeah,
Get loads of nail polish in it.
that's pretty good.
That is pretty cool.
Which is cool. They're not the cheapest things, are they? But
No, but at the end of the day, it's worth it, especially if you get... I used to always think, that was my thing with the Loot Crate, was I knew there was at least one thing a month that I'd want in there. So I thought, okay, I'll get that, and then there'll be at least one thing that I really like. But then I realised I could just go out and buy that as like something that I wanted instead.
probably for cheaper as well.
Yeah. and I love, but the thing is with me, like I love that sensation of opening things. It's what I love about Hearthstone is like opening packs, and it's what I love about card games. A lot of card games I don't play for the game. I play them to open booster packs and find out what's inside because
It's the excitement of not knowing what you're gonna get.
exactly.
It's like the old thing with I see it posted a few times around the internet with Overwatch. What do we fight for? For peace? For for our own interests? And the biggest response is we just fight for loot boxes.
Yeah, it's true. It's true
Pretty
though.
much.
Everybody likes loot boxes.
Hell yeah.
It's
In any game you play.
exactly.
Pretty much, yeah.
Well, it's why I enjoy things like Faria and stuff like that mainly because I get to open crap, find out what's inside. I love it. I've always loved that. I think I've just
Well,
always yeah.
I feel like we should play Past the Parcel at I60.
Oh yeah. Oh
I
I
hell
feel like
yeah.
you'd love that.
Okay.
Yeah, why not?
Oh yes.
Sure.
Yes. See, the thing is with me, like I've always loved that sensation on Christmas Day. You don't know what you're gonna get. Now, I don't tend to get many presents anymore, but at the same time, not knowing what I'm gonna receive is really nice. I really like that, and also giving people things that they don't know. So, for instance, for this year, I brought my father a record player. He has hundreds of vinyls that he hasn't been able to play for years because he doesn't have a record player. This year, I bought him one, and he had no idea. Like the rest of my family kept it a secret. And it was just really nice. That excitement on someone's face when they find something that they really want but they weren't expecting is it's a phenomenal feeling. I love it anyway. I don't know. I've always loved that feeling of finding something that someone wants and gifting it to them, I suppose.
I agree.
But yeah. Anyway, what games has everyone been playing this week?
Wow.
Yeah, pretty much.
Wow. We've all been playing a lot of WoW. Well, us
Wow,
three
wow,
have. I don't know.
wow.
Rogue hasn't
I
got
don't
it out
have
of you.
WoW, no.
But us three have.
I finally got my warrior from level 103 to 104. Woohoo!
What?
I've been really, really lazy with WoW recently. So I used to be able to do like a level, like quite easily a couple of levels a day. Like through Draenor, I would level up a character in a couple of evenings from like 90 to 100, and it was really good. Nowadays, not so much. Nowadays.
Oh, speaking of, I was playing my Demon Hunter last night, and first emissary chest I opened, a legendary dropped out of it.
Really?
And I was like, it was the trinket as well, which is nasty. It's so overpowered. I just go and just wreck things now.
Nice.
I'm so
Super
jealous
good.
right now.
Trinket? Sorry, for people like me who do not know WoW, what?
It's how the hell would I explain it without just saying it's a trinket? A trinket.
Trinket.
It's
It's not. It's
thing,
not
an
like
item
a-
that you acquire.
Oh,
it's
it's
not
just
like
another.
It's
It's basically like
suppose
some sort of a
think-
good luck charm slot.
sort of like I suppose like I don't know how you'd explain it.
Well, what does it do? Like,
Not a
why is
lot.
this? What? Like, there must be a
it's
reason why
just
it's
a-
overpowered as hell.
Oh, because it does a massive fireball AoE. It has an ability, which is a massive fireball AoE. I can bring it up on Wowhead
Yeah.
and read it out. Actually, let's have a look. Should be guide to legendaries, is there not? Please say that there's a guide to legendaries.
It should be
Please say that
somewhere.
there's a guide to legendaries.
I can successfully say that I've never had a legendary.
Legendary armor.
One day it will
I've
happen.
got a legendary on my hunter. My
See,
old
I
hunter.
don't know if it's one of the new ones.
Oh, legendary! I mean, that's what I love hearing in Hearthstone when I open a pack.
What's it called?
Hmm?
What's it called?
I've forgotten.
Uh,
So.
Anyway, they're
yeah.
essentially items that allow you that have abilities. All legendary items in WoW are quite high level.
But for something to do like a special effect in WoW, from what I can gather, like that sounds more like something that's like a Diablo style of
WoW's made
item.
by the same people that
I
made
know that,
Diablo.
but like the way you balance things out, it's just like you're designed in Diablo to just kind of run and destroy monsters as fast as possible most of the time. In this case, it sounds like
Oh, it's not balanced at all. It's not in any way balanced. It's very overpowered, and that's the thing about legendaries.
That just sounds like a terrible idea. Why?
Well-
Like someone for me who's only like played up to level 40 knows that that's a bad idea. So like,
I feel like at the top end of things, the idea in WoW is for you to plow through things. You've got massive kind of high level challenge rating dungeons, mythic dungeons, and things like that. They're very difficult. Even with
Well,
them,
yeah, the mythic plus 10 5-man dungeons.
Don't even
Yeah.
get me started.
I've
on
done a mythic plus 2, I believe. I wasn't expecting to do it either. It was just we had a random tank come in and just like, oh, I'm just putting my keystone on. Oh, okay then. No, I don't need to do quests and need to loot, but whatever. And yeah, because it's a time limit.
yeah,
Like you have to do it within a certain time to get the better loot. The quicker you do
Yeah.
it, the better loot you get.
Mm.
So it's tricky to rush through it because it's basically speed running. That's what they're asking you to do, and then the higher the mythic difficulty, the more difficult it is to get the speed run.
So that's kind of that's why they've got these higher level items, these legendaries, because at the end of it all, you need something at the upper end of the game to give you that how to put it, that not balance but a slight overpowering on your character, because the PvE becomes incredibly difficult. That's the end game of WoW is raiding, to running mythics, and for me was always challenge mode. Challenge mode dungeons were always my favourite because I got a mount out of them. So
Alright.
I fucking love challenge modes.
and it's good
Awesome.
fun. That you've got lots of different things that happen in them, and it's just a bit different. Obviously, I suppose that's why it's also another thing at the end of the game. At the end of the game at the moment, you do those kind of things, but you don't have much to kind of obtain, or much more you need to get. unless you're just getting gear from these mythics and things. Now, getting a legendary gives you that push, gives you something towards that.
Sure,
so,
sure.
Yeah.
Definitely, and the drop at 940 eye level now as well. It's a massive boost to just help you. Like for like, say, using my Demon Hunter example, getting that, it was Kill Jaden's Burning Wish, by the way.
Nice.
Really OP trinket.
Yeah, I just.
But yeah, like for that, I was struggling a little bit because I main a ranged DPS as a melee DPS. I was struggling a little bit to not die. But yeah, getting that big boost from the legendary really helped me out with being able to just continue on.
That's the thing, and I quite like it. I quite like the thought of it. It's something that the issue is that at the end of Draenor, I thought that level 100 got very stale for me. Very, very stale very quickly. I ran some, I had a really high eye level in Draenor.
You basically had no reason to kind of properly progress, and that's why it's half of the reason high levels now.
They had high levels back then, but it's half the reason I cancelled my subscription back then was because I got bored. I got bored of doing wizard chores every day, and that being it. I might go off and run a mythic or a challenge raid, and that was it. That was my life. And I was like, okay, this game's just got very repetitive, and they've just done some different things this time, which is...
it's sort of over time. They're releasing a little bit, wait a couple of months, a little bit more, wait a couple of months, a little bit more. So they're sort of, instead of saying, oh, here it is, just go, and people just blasting through it, they're saying, okay, we're going to release the expansion over the course of the expansion, and time gate it, I suppose.
Yes, yeah.
But yeah, back in WoD, that's all I did after a certain point. Just log into every single character. Because I had all 11 back then at level 100. I just log into every single one of them and do garrison chores.
Yeah,
that
that's
was it.
pretty.
I made so much gold though. But yeah, that's all I do at the end of the expansion, because it was like I wasn't in a raiding guild or anything, so I had nothing else to do apart from grind and farm.
Well, I remember when I came back from having so long of not having a subscription. It was only a year or so, but at the same time, I came back and I had maybe 200 ingots, true steel ingots there, and I was like, great, that would have been a lot of gold back in the day. Anyway, sorry, Rogue, I interrupted you. You were about to say something before.
Oh, don't worry, I've already forgotten it.
Oh, my apologies. My humble apologies. But yeah,
that's my fault.
Aside from that, we had a really good stream about just over an hour ago, Magicka 2. So that was part of the Humble Bundle, Yogscast Jingle Jam Humble Bundle in 2016. And what a game! I'd forgotten how much I enjoyed it. We did kill every NPC
and each other
many times. But
they don't call it the Mage Suicide Simulator for nothing.
Yeah,
and occasionally a few enemies that would fight back, but
we struggled with the enemies. We were much more adept at killing each other, I think. But yeah, it was good fun. As I say, I'm very impressed by it. I haven't played Magicka 2. I'd only played 1, and I really enjoyed going back to it again. It was good fun. Good. But I've been playing Dark Souls more, as well this week, and
you guys in Dark Souls
writing code. That's about it. I've been working on a lot of projects in the evenings this week, so there has been no
staying up super late.
Yeah.
Sad Arix.
Staying up to like 2-3 a.m. and forgetting that I have to actually exist in the daytime. That's probably not the best idea ever, but yeah. No, it's been good. I've sorted some things out, so it's work. Things are working. We got a new bot in the Discord server coming up tomorrow, maybe. So that should be good. Ooh. Hopefully people will enjoy that. If you're not in the Discord server, I'll link it in the chat. Please do come and join us. Oh, there we go. Well, yeah.
They'll beat me. Well, both of us.
Well, this is where we organise all this kind of thing. If you want to get involved in the podcast, if you want to join in for some games, hit us up on there. I'm around most evenings, and I love playing whatever. So I have recently actually.
I will make sure that I link the Discord link somewhere on the YouTube.
Yes,
but,
yeah.
Yeah.
So if you're watching this back as a VOD, I'll have it linked somewhere in
the description.
the description or something. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I bought Diablo a few weeks ago as well, and I haven't managed to play any of that since I did the event. There was an event a few weeks ago, and you got a pet from it, and I can't remember what it was.
The Darkening of Tristram.
That was really cool. I really liked that.
It was they started it for the 20th anniversary, and they're going to be doing it every year in January.
It's really cool. It's really cool. That kind of time warping style thing back to back to Diablo 1 was really cool. I liked it a lot. I thought it was just something very different. In all honesty, it's kind of why I bought the game. Was to do that event and get the pet. So,
just to do that event.
It's a collection. I love my pets. I like my mounts.
Maybe we'll play some on a Friday or something. And,
that'd be really cool.
I'll drag you and Cody through and get you all to level 70 so that you start doing stuff.
Yeah, so because that's when the real game starts with all these games. The game starts at the end. You don't. Everyone sits in WoW and you're like, oh, I'm just leveling this out. Yeah. You're not actually really doing anything until you hit
I don't know. Some of the leveling experiences are quite good. Like, I do like Blizzard. When Cataclysm hit, they changed a lot of the classic leveling, didn't they? And I think they definitely improved it so that it's more enjoyable rather than a massive grind.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And in no way am I saying it's bad. I really enjoy it all, but the real game does start at the end of the game, doesn't it? Really, in my opinion, anyway. Which is interesting because I haven't seen that model in many other games, and I think it works really well in both Diablo and WoW. So.
I do think it's a bit of an MMO kind of thing that they have though.
Well, I mean. It's interesting because I've played a few MMOs where it hasn't been like that in the past. Actually, that's a lie. No, it does. It still did.
Because when you start to think about it, you're like, actually, yeah.
Well, yeah. I was gonna say in DDO that's not the case, but it is because once you hit the end of the game, so you go through doing all these dungeons and stuff, and they're also like what you would equate to world quests in WoW. There are those kind of things as well, but most of it is in these instance dungeons. It's very cool, very good game. Once you hit the end of the game, you've got difficulty, so you've got normal, hard, or elite, I think. And then you've got epic, and that only unlocks once you reach the end of the game. And yeah, epic is basically the end game. You just repeat everything on epic, and it's great. Just really good. It's just... I used to love it, and I must re-download it and take a look at some point and see what they've done.
We'll have to do it for an MMO Mondays at some point.
Yeah, I need to see what they've done over the kind of last few years because I haven't played for about 7 years or so it'd be nice to see what they've done. But yeah, that was a good game. How about yourself, Rogue? What have you been playing this week?
I haven't been doing all that much other than a bit of Overwatch. A few things on Steam, not just what was going on the podcast. Just testing out a bit of RimWorld as well with with some new patches involved with just the way that the world has been structured. Now it's actually, if you know what RimWorld is, should I describe it to you? Or?
Please do. I haven't played it, so
I tried it, but I couldn't.
It's kind of a science fiction colony game where you basically imagine Dwarf Fortress, except kind of more based in the future, and you have a lot of different things going on.
Sure.
In regards to just kind of in general with the world around you, but also just in terms of different events. It's difficult to actually kind of explain in depth how everything works because despite it being only a 200 megabyte game, it is extremely it is very complicated and has a lot of different small little things that you have to keep in mind because every different colonist has their own kind of mood swings depending on different factors. They might like or dislike something differently depending on other different things, but they've been basically adding a new system that allows you to effectively kind of set up your own caravans and convoys and leave the general kind of the actual map that you're supposed to be kind of settling down, and instead you can move around into different areas around the world, find other colonists that are randomly generated and attack them or trade with them or that sort of thing. It's pretty interesting.
Oh, awesome! That sounds pretty cool, actually.
Yeah.
Is it a bit like Factorio, but a bit more open world style thing? Am I right in thinking?
It's nothing like Factorio.
Okay.
Again, if you want a better reference, think something more like Dwarf Fortress.
Okay.
Except it doesn't have to be necessary. You can make a colony that's kind of tunneled into a mountain, but you don't have to.
Well, when I tried it out, I mean, I couldn't really get to grips with it very well. So I tried it out. What I could from what I took from it, it was pretty much Dwarf Fortress crossed with Prison Architect.
Okay, because I saw the art style was similar.
It has the Prison Architect aesthetic, and I can see similarities. It's not quite like.
It's
it
not
is
really
more towards
Prison Architect though.
Well, it is. There's parts. There's similarities there.
The art style looks similar. Like when I looked at it, the first thing I saw when I looked at the Steam page was, oh, the art style looks like reminds me of Prison Architect.
They're not the same people though, from what I can gather.
Oh no, but it's very like there's things
it's
that
simplistic, and it's the important. They're trying to say that this game is not you're not supposed to be focusing on the aesthetic. It's more about the actual mechanics that you're trying to kind of work through.
That I always concentrate on the aesthetic. One thing that I realized when I kind of first got into the game dev field, maybe 3-4 years ago now, was that the reason I actually play games, the reason I enjoy games, is for the art, for it being a piece of art that I can enjoy. You know, the mechanics have to fit.
So
mechanics have to be
you
really.
Probably enjoy a lot of games like Bastion, that sort of thing.
Yeah, but what I enjoy, so for instance, my love for Dark Souls, I love the mechanics of it, but that's because the mechanics fit so well with that aesthetic that's telling me a story. Now, that story is a gritty, undead story of a very, very kind of torn world, which I love. But it really fits that aesthetic well, and the actual art style is phenomenal. And it is games are pieces of artwork. It's why when I think about the programs I write, that's how I want people to see the stuff that I do. Is when people look at something, how can I make someone enjoy this? It does turn it more into a piece of art than an actual game in some aspects. Well,
like it is like the RimWorld is very compelling, but it's focusing more along like the kind of the Integra aspect are the people. Right, they all have their different personalities, their own skills, their own little things. Like they did add a recent patch that not this most recent patch, but the one before it, which introduced other things like drugs like you can grow or develop different types of different things. If you have some softer drugs such as alcohol and what they call smoke leaf, which is basically just cannabis, and the aspects of that are very similar to the aspects of what it does are very similar to cannabis, including that whatever you like, whenever someone takes it, they become hungrier much quicker and that sort of thing. But they all have everyone has their own different mood swings, and you can get them to drink a beer or whatever to chill them down and prevent them from going berserk. But they all have their own reasons to do so. Some of them might not want to take intros. They could be completely teetotal. They could be they might be a very jealous person. So as a result, if someone is jealous, they have to have the best looking bedroom, the best looking kind of private room. And if they don't have that, they always have a permanent mood debuff.
Okay, so it's kind of you're trying to satisfy the people. So
yes.
So it's kind of in many ways that sort of system is similar to The Sims. In The Sims,
it's Sims, but you have to survive a very hostile world.
Sure. Okay, that sounds
and people
pretty cool.
will die.
Yeah. That sounds
they
pretty
do in The
cool,
Sims.
actually. So it becomes more of a colonization thing. I like that. I like that.
Sort. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Has anyone now leading on from kind of that? Has anyone seen the new game from the makers of Castle Crashers and Battle Block Theatre?
I saw
I'll even link
is
it
that
in the
Pit
chat.
People.
Pit
Pit People.
Yes.
Oh
This
yeah.
could be a good game to play.
Yes. What a game. What a game. Holy cow.
There have
You've
been
been
playing
playing
that,
it?
haven't they?
I've been playing it as well. At work.
Wow.
On my lunch breaks, not while I'm supposed to be working.
Yeah, we know.
So yeah, but holy cow, what a game! I mean, I've been watching Sips and Lewis play through as well, but I mean they're a bit slow. But sure. And
They're always slow.
and they use
Yeah.
they use the worst units ever, but it's fine. They're great. It's the comedy, but I mean that narrator, holy cow! Just I can't get over the games that I can't remember what the
Stamper.
is that the company that makes it.
Oh no! The Behemoth Games, but the actual
Behemoth Games.
I
Yeah.
thought you were talking about the narrator. He has his own YouTube channel, Stamper
Yeah.
TV.
But the
He's a nutcase.
Yeah, I can never get over the games that the Behemoth Games make. It's just they're always so phenomenal. I mean, I loved Battle Block Theatre. I played it with an old friend of mine. I play it with people when they come over, just as kind of a like a sit on the couch and mess around game.
Shoot the fat sort of thing. Yeah.
They're just so good, so good, and they have so silly stories. But yeah, as I say, I don't know if anyone else has played it or has been watching the playthrough on YouTube, but it's very, very good.
I haven't watched any of it.
I've been, I haven't been really doing much in terms of games. I have noticed my roommates now. They're not particularly, avid gamers, but they'll do a few things like on their phones that just to tide themselves by. And I noticed one of them was playing this new game that they've only just realized, something called Hearthstone, perhaps.
Wow.
It's kind of impressive to watch someone like, how long has it been? 2, 3, maybe even 3 years?
Think it's 3.
And watching someone just start off the game completely, just with Razor Fen Hunters and all the old
crappy cards,
standard cards, and he's like,
I don't envy anyone that just starts up at this point. Though.
yeah, I've been like one of the biggest things I told them to do is like, don't get too into this game at this stage, because it's like you're never gonna get into it without spending ludicrous amounts of money.
From what they were talking about it on, I think it was on one of the last deck rippers. Someone asked about, like, if you're getting into the game, what do you suggest? Like, because they were like, well, obviously you can't just go into it free to play at this point.
No, you
And they
can't.
were like, spend like 20 to 30 to start you out, and then you should be alright. Like, that's what advice
you're
they
not.
gave, but
Come
depends.
on.
Yeah, you could get really lucky and get some really good stuff, and that could do you, but you could get really unlucky as well.
No,
And then
Yeah,
just
you're not gonna get enough with that much, especially like you've got
there's a
pre-made.
starter pack.
You've got pre-made decks.
The starter
from,
pack's
like,
pretty good, but it's not enough. Let's put it this way: I have a tally of how much I spend on these kind of games, just to kind of keep it in perspective. I have a spreadsheet of how much I spend on all my Blizzard games because I can go over the top. WoW is the highest, but that's for obvious reason. That's because I buy WoW tokens all the time like an idiot. But I don't have time to farm gold, so I suppose that's that. Hearthstone, I've spent over £400 on, and I am still at a point where I am probably about rank 15. So, at least in last season, I was rank 50. Now, if you don't know the rank system, it goes from 1 being the highest all the way, well, there's beyond that, but we won't talk about that, up to 25. So yeah,
Well,
you can see that you can see that me having spent like a not too small amount of money on the game, I'm still around there, and that's with some of the decks I'm using are net decks. It's not just me being crap at building decks either. So I have been kind of going in and out of Hearthstone just kind of around the time of just before
what was it? The Old Gods expansion came out, and I was just kind of browsing it here and there when I got a random card back that got me Grom Hellscream, which I really liked at this particular time because it allowed me to assemble my own kind of a net deck that was basically Patron Warrior. You know how that was back then.
Yes.
It was a pretty good deck, and I was, I just got everything together. I was ready to just kind of properly play this game with this particular deck. Not 3 days later, they patched the game. Warsong Commander nerfed to the ground.
Yeah.
Rest in peace, Warsong Commander. And I was like, no, why?
But this is a case with all CCGs and living card games. In that, let's put it this way: I play Magic the Gathering. I play a lot of Magic, and I also spend a tremendous amount of money on that, like an idiot. But at the same time, every time a new expansion comes out, cards are removed from standard, and you can't use them in competitive play anymore.
How they've started doing it in Hearthstone now, isn't it?
And it's very similar. Cards get nerfed and buffed in Hearthstone, similar concept, but they also get removed nowadays from standard.
I remember.
If you think about it, if they continue to balance all of the cards, how much work is that after a certain point? After you've got so many cards out, you're like, we physically cannot balance this amount of cards anymore. We have to reduce it, and that'll be it really, because they just simply can't balance it all.
The problem I have though is it kind of feels like they end up they want to make the games very fluid and not static with everyone playing the same deck here and there. But the problem is then when they end up basically destroying so many other older decks and replacing them with new ones. Like how many people right now are playing Reno Mage right now with Kazakus and all that nonsense? That's just it's just crazy because like they could balance things out better, I feel, if they actually kind of put a little bit of thought into it rather than just saying, oh, these cards can't be used anymore.
I think it's much harder than you think to balance a game like that, though. That's one of those things. It's like the whole WoW endgame stuff. In that, imagine in Hearthstone, I have a pool of maybe, I don't know, 2,000 cards or so. Now, maybe that's not the case in Hearthstone, but in Magic, there are over, I think it's over 10,000 cards now. If all of those cards were allowed in standard play, in competitive play, we would have a major issue in that, one, rebalancing would not be possible. You could reprint cards and say, okay, you now have to use this new reprinted version. Obviously, that's easier in Hearthstone. But the issue is that you can't keep all of those. You can't keep up with the different tactics. Every Magic release, something new is introduced. Not every, but most Magic release, a new kind of game mechanic is introduced. They can be quite similar, but yeah, they're introduced to say the least. And you just can't. You can't keep up with that. You can't keep rebalancing the game and changing the cards. It's the same with Hearthstone. The more cards they introduce, the less able they're going to be to just change things and think, okay, this can now counter this. It becomes a very vicious circle very quickly.
That, and eventually they're like, oh, this stuff, but wait, there's a card from back here that makes that completely
nullified,
relevant, or like just stuff like that, and it's like, well, it doesn't really, they don't meld very well anymore or something. So like that's
exactly.
So obviously, as they come out with new, like especially, I don't really know in Hearthstone as much, but like in Magic, they keep coming out with new effects and stuff, don't they?
Yeah, that's what I meant
so
by
it's like
mechanics.
That stuff, and it's like, some of the old stuff and the new stuff are just, they don't really, don't work together very well either. So
well, now you've got energy and all that jazz in Magic, and it works really well. But if you kept all of the stuff in, for instance, I have some really great Dragons of Tarkir decks, but if I played those in current Magic Standard, you can't do it. I mean, Dragons I think was taken out a couple of releases ago, anyway from standard. But the point is, they are quite overpowered. There's a lot of stuff that you can completely counter from some of the new packs by using those. I think that's one of those things, you can't keep countering for everything by changing the card effects. And also, at the end of the day, it's a collectible card game, so people want new things to collect. So what you could do is just have a pool of cards, like say 500 cards, and just keep changing the effects over and over, but then you don't get people paying the money to buy new packs. And that's what people want. They want that random
They have to
opening.
keep making money as well.
Yeah.
Has anyone
spending all the money
Sorry,
on balance?
anyone else noticed that Zelle's mysteriously vanished?
She's just popped off for a moment. That's all. Her, I believe her daughter has returned, so that's no problems at all. But yes, so you just can't. Yeah, you have to have some kind of external interest from customers. I think that's what that does. But yes. Hopefully, it should keep going well. I like Hearthstone because it's simple. It's not Magic. Magic is more difficult.
Magic is very confusing sometimes.
Yeah, but I mean, the other annoying thing I had about Hearthstone in particular was I didn't get any particular warning that they were going to kind of, put entire decks out of rotation completely. Not decks, but the seasons or whatever. What do you call them? The Goblins vs. Gnomes card backs? No. Anyway.
The different sets basically.
The sets. Anyway, so anyone who's played Hearthstone will know about the notorious Doctor Boom. That was insanely powerful.
You've frozen for me in Tiny Chat.
Tiny Chat has just, when you sent that message, it killed itself.
Oh dear, Tiny Chat. We need something better than Tiny Chat for this. Oh.
I'm looking at the.
Apologies for that. We had a slight technical issue with Tiny Chat. We have returned. We'll be here for a short while longer. Don't worry. Don't worry. Oh dear. Zella's also returned.
Yes, my camera's on at the moment, but I'll put it on if you want it on.
There's no need, right? Can you sort out your own things right now, maybe?
Wonderful.
She can take herself to the toilet, can't you? Now let's take your coat off.
Okay, look, you.
Wave and say hi.
Hi.
Hello.
Go on. Go to the toilet.
You're supposed to wave at us now.
Rest of the stream. Amazing.
Hey!
There she is. You're there. See? You lean this way.
Can't see you now.
Yeah, you can. Right, go to the toilet. You said you needed a wee.
No, I can't see.
She's found something more important to do.
There we go. She's gone.
Oh, dear.
I thought that would bring a little entertainment.
Oh dear.
Oh, for God's sake. Back.
But yeah, Magic, as we were saying before, it is far more complex. I love the game, but I struggle to keep up with the new game mechanics that come out sometimes, because I can't play all the time.
Yeah.
I get maybe 1 or 2 times to play a month or so it just gets very hectic. But
I noticed in the ones that the Oxcast did on the Games Night channel, they kept having to ask their official rules guy because they weren't quite sure of things and stuff. So even those guys who have been playing for years still don't like there's things that even they don't know.
And they got some stuff wrong as well, which was hilarious. I sat there and I was like, nope, you can't do that, please. I was like rocking in a chair. It was great though, and we should totally do a Magic session at some point. That'd be awesome.
You guys come stay here and we will play
Okay.
bake and all sorts.
We have to do that baking stream. That's going to be phenomenal. Like,
Yeah, hell yeah.
Arix learns to bake, or Arix tries not to burn things. Oh dear.
Did you want one?
Yeah, I love all the living card games at the moment. I'm currently playing Magic, Force of Will. I don't know if you've ever heard of it, Lorcian, but seriously,
haven't.
take a look it up now. Like, it's such a cool game. Force of Will takes everything about every card game I've loved and puts it into one. Like, it takes some of the crappy stuff out of Magic. Now, okay, some of the art is a very Japanese art style, and some of it is quite provocative. I will say that now. You know, it is not the most flattering to some of the women in there, and that is unfortunate. But
it's coming up with a Magic the Gathering card called Force of Will.
Oh no! No, Forced of Will.
Forced of wait.
I believe so.
Spell that for me.
Okay. 1 moment. It should just be Forced of Will. Just like that, I think. I can't remember because I haven't played in a few weeks, but I've been loving it so far. Essentially what it does is it takes health points like you have in Yu-Gi-Oh, which I used to play as a child, but also has not only that, but it has, you know, Commander, Lorcian, from Magic. You know that game?
Yeah, sort of.
It takes a lot of the stuff that I love from Commander, so you almost have your Commander, which is called your ruler, on the field in Force of Will. And you have your ruler, and what they can do is you can activate their ability for a certain amount of what is mana, but is energy, to turn them into what's called a Judgment Ruler, which is like their transformed, evolved form, which is really cool, and it basically brings them into the game as this quite powerful card. But the best part about it is your mana pool and your card pool for your like monsters and everything are separate. So it's guaranteed that you can play a mana every turn if you want to.
That's good.
So your ruler actually works as like a mana tap. So if you tap your ruler, you can pull mana onto the field from your mana deck. It's very cool. I'll show you at some point.
I've found it. And apparently there's an anime adaptation of it coming out.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, a movie and everything.
Wow, I did not know that.
Yognot Anime Night.
Yes.
There we go. Something to watch.
It's really cool. It is a really cool game. It's not like any... It is very much like every other card game I've played, but it's also pulls all the best things in for me, so I love it. It's great. But yeah. Anyone else play any things like D&D or card games outside of video games at the moment?
No.
No, I play a lot of mobile games.
Oh yeah.
If that counts.
Yeah.
Yeah, I played Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle.
Right.
Which is basically a collectible card game with Dragon Ball Z characters.
Oh,
and then
cool.
you use them to battle with all the things. It's weird, but it's fun. And then I play the Fairy Tail card game.
Oh, nice. I haven't seen that.
they're not really like traditional card games. It's like you collect cards of the characters, and then like you use them to like, because they have stats and things, and they fight and use abilities and things. But yeah, it's fun. And then I recently this week got Digimon Heroes, which is
Oh yeah.
same one but for Digimon, and
Nice.
they're all quite a little bit different. They're like similar in that you collect the cards of the characters and use them to fight, but they all work differently in the way that they battle.
Okay.
Like, so the Dragon Ball Z one has like a thing come down with loads of orbs, and you've got to pick the route that, like, it'll automatically fill in the route, but like you pick the first orb.
Okay.
And then you've got to match the colours so that you get, the more orbs you get, the more powerful the attack's going to be.
Oh, awesome.
Like rock, paper, scissors, like all the games are rock, paper, scissors in a way that certain things are stronger against certain things, and certain things are weak and stuff. But the Fairy Tale one is just straight up the cards fight. And then the Digimon one's a little solitaire-like. Like, you've got your team and your cards, like, at the top, sort of, and then you've got, like, a set of cards that come down that are all coloured and numbered, and you have to match 3 of them that are the same colour, and the higher the number on the card, the more damage you do, I think, and you can chain. So you do 1 link of 3, and then if there's any other possible links of 3, the game will automatically chain it for you.
Okay, cool.
Until you can't do any more, and obviously the more chain you get, the more damage you do and things. So it's kind of fun though. Like, it's, to be honest, I really just kind of play them to collect the characters. And stuff,
Yeah.
Like, totally. Like, I want, like, in Dragon Ball Z one, I've been playing it for over a year now.
Nice.
I've got some Super Saiyan God Super Saiyans and a few Beerus's and a few Cells, and like I've got to the point now where I've got some quite nice stuff.
It's like I actually play one of the only I wouldn't say it's a game, but one of the only things I do on my phone that isn't, you know, communication and stuff or development is the Star Wars card trader game. It's essentially like the old Tops. It's actually made by Tops, the old card game sticker book, you know, collector kind of thing. Basically, you get given a load of credits each day, and you buy some card packs, and you open them, and you make a collection, and that is the whole game. And it's all Star Wars themed, and that's it. There's no battles, there's no nothing. You just collect shit, and it's wonderful.
What?
Yeah. Seriously, that's all you do. You just make a collection of Star Wars cards, and that's it. Nothing else. No other reason to it. There's no fighting. There's no nothing.
That's something I would do.
And it's so good. It satisfies my addiction of opening stuff and just having, you know, finding something that's completely new. Obviously, they give you credits each day, so you don't have to. You can pay for extra stuff, but you don't have to. It's kind of cool. I thought it was pretty cool, but yeah. Definitely worth a look if you love that kind of sensation of opening stuff.
This is a new Farmville genre, just in terms of clicking things for your own satisfaction.
Oh, it's been out a long time. It's been out multiple years now.
No, you know what I mean, though, in terms of just.
It satisfies that randomly opening stuff thing, I suppose, for people.
Presents. You don't know.
The loot crate boxes.
Yeah, the loot box thing. So,
the loot boxes.
And you know, I've spent some money on it because I wanted extra things. You don't have to. You can just open stuff, and they, you know, basically it was so they didn't have to bring out the cards, physical cards, and have people with collector's albums of Star Wars cards. I would have preferred if they did that because I prefer buying stuff and having like proper
having an
items.
actual physical version.
Which they
Like, for example, I may or may not have the Disney Sum sticker book.
Nice. Well, it's like I much prefer to have things in person. It's why I play more card games offline than I do on the internet. But at the same time, having the ability to just open a pack of cards a day without having kind of to spend like 10 quid a day or something on booster packs is nice, because it got to a point where I was spending 200 quid a week on Magic cards at one point.
Jeez.
And that was bad.
That's a lot.
That was really bad.
I don't think I've ever spent £200 in the whole time. Like, basically, this is basically my collection of Magic cards. All that. That's pretty much it. So I've not got a lot compared to a lot of people, and Arix is like Yeah, I'm gonna show you my.
I can't.
boxes, Yeah.
I
bet you couldn't lift it, could you?
There's a cupboard here, and it's one of those like square cupboards that you have like crosses. Two of the crosses are filled up with cards, as in there are boxes
Jesus.
and boxes of cards.
Wow, I'm just
there.
looking at
Wow.
that right now. Oh, damn.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I've got a couple of little like boxes
Like,
that I've got my decks in. But
I mean-
apart from that, that's pretty much my collection.
There are just like shitty loose cards here, like all over the place. It's literally just like I don't even know what expansion these are from anymore. I don't know.
What's the icon?
I think I don't actually know which one these. Oh, I think these are Shadows over Innistrad. Yeah, they are. This is Shadows stuff, which is pretty cool. I really like that because it brought back werewolves and
The icon.
vampires.
I don't know. Oh yeah, I think that's the last set that I got. So.
Yeah, it's a loss. Actually, no. Tell a lie. I have played the new one. I can't remember what it's called though. Not the most recent, but the one prior to that. Because basically, what I do for each of the new expansions is I go and play a draft for it, and that's all. That's basically all I do now. So I go to a draft, and that's where I get my cards from that expansion. Then maybe I'll buy a few extra boosters and stuff. But yeah, they've all been really cool recently. The only ones I didn't like was Oath of the Gatewatch, which I thought was trash. I thought it had no synergies, didn't follow on well from Zendikar. I loved Zendikar. I thought it was really cool. Oath was crap. So yeah, sorry Wizards, you didn't make me happy there. Oh dear.
I've got God knows what. Oh, I've got some vampires in this. I think these are Innistrad.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. This is a mixture. Some of them are like 10th edition. Some of them are like, yeah, oh god, yeah. I've got from like 10 to 13 in here, and then there's like all sorts of different icons that I don't recognise. I think some of these are Innistrad though.
Oh yeah.
I never got around to
Innistrad.
collecting Magic cards myself, although back in the day I did collect a fair amount of
From
usual
when there were
cards.
white borders back in
Yay.
8th.
White
That's
borders?
8th was out when I started. That's when I started. So.
I've been collecting Magic cards for I don't know, 10 or so years
I would
maybe.
have been 14 or 15,
Yeah.
and I'm older now.
Nice catch there. Nice catch.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
Yeah, I hadn't even heard of Magic until I went into college. Like, I don't know how I was so sheltered that I didn't hear of this Magic the Gathering all this
Yeah.
time, but
I mean, it's not for a time. It's come back into popularity now, but for a time it wasn't massively popular. There was a point at which I I deviated from it for quite a few years actually. Between kind of 2012 and 2014, I stopped buying cards. But then it all started again because love those cards. But yeah, oh dear.
Because reasons, let's just put it
I
that
just
way.
I love that. Love opening cards and doing all that sort of jazz. It's just phenomenal. Anyway, on that note, I think we shall call it there for today. But
Alright.
thank you everyone for watching, and thank you Rogue for joining us this evening.
no problems.
There was going to be D&D in an hour. Unfortunately, we're missing a player tonight, so that may or may not go ahead at this point. We're going to have a discussion in the next half an hour. If it,
We may end up playing something else.
yes,
so.
there may be.
It also
There'll be
depends
something.
on if he could also show up sometime.
We're-
Soon
yeah,
to
we're-
decide.
we're-
actually,
Depends how
don't
he
actually
feels.
feel up to it. Yeah.
We're not sure at this point. But anyway, there will be something further on this evening, so stick around for that, whether it be a game or whether it be D&D. And thanks for joining in. Farewell.
All right.
Bye bye.
Bye.